Most people spend their entire lives chasing happiness, believing it's waiting behind a bigger paycheck, the perfect relationship, or some future version of themselves. But the happiest people rarely think that way. They wake up with the same problems everyone else has, yet they carry themselves differently because they practice a few quiet habits that completely change how they experience life. Marcus Aurelius understood this centuries ago, and today those same habits are more powerful than ever. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed, emotionally drained, or like peace always slips through your fingers, stay with me until the end, because these 5 small Stoic habits might completely change the way you live. And once you begin practicing them, you'll wonder why nobody ever taught you this sooner. Habit number 1, they protect their morning before the world steals it. The average person wakes up and immediately hands their mind over to everyone else. They reach for their phone before their feet even touch the floor, scrolling through bad news, work emails, social media arguments, and other people's perfect-looking lives, before they've even had a chance to hear their own thoughts without realizing it. They're allowing the outside world to decide how they'll feel for the rest of the day. And that's exactly why so many people begin every morning already anxious, already distracted, already emotionally exhausted. But the happiest people do something completely different. They create a small space between waking up and reacting, and inside that space, they regain control over themselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote much of meditations as personal reminders before facing another difficult day as emperor. He didn't expect life to become easier when the sun came up. He expected challenges, criticism, betrayal, and disappointment. But he refused to let those things enter his mind before he chose his own attitude. That's the real secret. Happiness isn't created by having perfect mornings. It's created by protecting your peace before chaos arrives. Think about someone you know who always seems calm under pressure. Chances are they don't wake up in a panic. They don't immediately consume endless information. Instead, they give themselves a few quiet moments to breathe. Think, stretch, pray, journal, or simply enjoy the silence before the demands of life begin pulling at them. Those few minutes seem insignificant, yet over weeks and months, they completely reshape the mind. Imagine 2 people leaving the same apartment building. Both have the same job, the same bills, the same responsibilities, the same traffic waiting outside. But one person spent the first 20 minutes reacting to negativity, while the other spent those same 20 minutes grounding themselves in gratitude and purpose. By lunchtime, their emotional worlds are completely different, not because life treated one of them better, but because one of them chose who would control the first conversation of the day. This is where Stoicism becomes deeply practical. The philosophy isn't asking you to escape reality. It's teaching you to meet reality with a prepared mind. Because an unprepared mind reacts emotionally, while a prepared mind responds intentionally, and that single difference quietly shapes every conversation, every decision, and every relationship throughout the day. You don't need an expensive morning routine. You don't need to wake up at 4 in the morning. And you certainly don't need to pretend life is perfect. All you need is one promise to yourself: before the world speaks to me, I will spend a few moments listening to my own mind. Maybe it's 5 minutes sitting quietly with your coffee. Maybe it's writing one sentence you're grateful for. Maybe it's reading a single Stoic quote before touching your phone. Those tiny choices seem invisible in the moment, but over time they become the foundation of a happier, calmer life. The happiest people understand something most people never realize. Your morning isn't just the beginning of your day, it's the beginning of your identity. Because how you repeatedly begin is often how you repeatedly live. Protect those first moments, and you'll slowly notice something remarkable. The world hasn't become less chaotic. You've simply become stronger than its chaos. Habit number 2, They stop chasing what they can't control. The moment you learn to separate what belongs to you from what never did, your life becomes lighter, not because your problems disappear, but because you stop carrying burdens that were never yours in the first place. This is where many people unknowingly destroy their own happiness. They spend hours worrying about what someone thinks of them, replaying conversations they can't change, stressing over outcomes they can't predict, and trying to force people to become who they wish they were. Every day, they hand over their emotional peace to circumstances that refuse to obey them. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted before the day is even over. The happiest people understand a truth that most never fully accept. Happiness begins the moment you stop negotiating with reality and start working with it instead. Imagine waiting all week for an important interview. You've prepared, practiced, researched the company, and shown up ready to give your best once the interview ends. What happens next is no longer fully in your hands, yet many people spend the next several days obsessing over every answer they gave, wondering if they smiled enough, if they should have said something different, if the interviewer secretly disliked them. None of those thoughts improve the outcome. They only steal today's peace. The Stoics would call this voluntary suffering, creating pain from imagination instead of reality. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that the only true possession anyone has is their own character. Not their reputation, not their wealth, not their status, because all of those things can disappear overnight. But the ability to respond with wisdom always remains. That's why Stoicism feels so freeing. It doesn't promise you'll control life. It teaches you how to control yourself while life unfolds however it chooses. Think about relationships for a moment. One of the greatest sources of unhappiness comes from trying to control another person's feelings. Maybe you've wanted someone to appreciate you more, apologize, love you differently, or finally understand your intentions. You explain yourself again and again, hoping they'll change, but they don't. Eventually, frustration becomes resentment, and resentment quietly becomes sadness, not because you lacked love, but because you expected control where none existed. The happiest people still love deeply, but they don't chain their happiness to another person's choices. This doesn't mean becoming cold or emotionally distant. It means giving your best without demanding guarantees. You can be kind without expecting everyone to like you. You can work hard without demanding instant success. You can forgive without expecting the other person to become someone new. There's incredible freedom in realizing your responsibility ends with your own actions. Picture a sailor crossing a vast ocean. He can't command the wind, he can't stop the waves, and he certainly can't control the storm. But he can adjust the sails, strengthen the ship, and choose how he responds to changing conditions. Life works exactly the same way. Every day brings unexpected weather. Some days are calm, others feel overwhelming. Yet your inner compass doesn't have to change every time the sky does. One simple habit can begin transforming your life today. Whenever stress appears, pause and quietly ask yourself one question. Is this actually within my control? If the answer is yes, act with courage. If the answer is no, release it with dignity. That single question has the power to prevent countless hours of unnecessary anxiety. The happiest people aren't happier because life gives them fewer problems. They're happier because they've stopped arguing with reality. They invest their energy where it creates change, and they let go where it creates only suffering. Over time, this habit becomes a quiet superpower. While everyone else is pulled in every direction by fear, opinions, and uncertainty, they remain steady, grounded, and free. Because they understand the greatest victory isn't controlling the world. It's refusing to let the world control your mind. Habit number 3, they find joy in ordinary moments instead of waiting for extraordinary ones. The biggest lie modern life teaches is that happiness is always somewhere else. It's waiting for the promotion, the bigger house, the perfect relationship, the dream vacation, or the day everything finally falls into place. So people spend years racing toward a future that never seems to arrive. Every milestone gives them a brief moment of excitement, then the feeling fades, and another goal immediately takes its place without realizing it. They've trained their minds to overlook the life they're already living. The happiest people refuse to play that game. They understand something the Stoics practiced every single day. Extraordinary lives are built by appreciating ordinary moments. Because if you cannot enjoy a quiet morning, a meaningful conversation, a peaceful walk, or a simple meal, no amount of success will permanently satisfy you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that every sunrise was a gift that countless people would never experience again. Not because he was trying to sound poetic, but because he knew gratitude changes the way reality feels. Two people can live the exact same day. One complains that nothing exciting happened, while the other notices the laughter of a child, the cool breeze after a hot afternoon, the smile from a stranger, or the comfort of returning home after a long day. The circumstances are identical, yet their experience is completely different because their attention is different. Where attention goes, emotion follows. Think about the last time you shared dinner with your family or a close friend. Were you truly present, or was your mind somewhere else? Worrying about tomorrow, checking notifications, thinking about unfinished work. Many people physically live their lives while mentally living somewhere else. And that's why happiness always feels just out of reach. Stoicism teaches that the present moment is the only place where peace can actually exist. Yesterday cannot be changed, tomorrow cannot be controlled, but today can still be lived well. That's why the happiest people intentionally slow themselves down for a few moments every day. They notice the smell of fresh coffee. They appreciate the silence before the city wakes up. They enjoy the warmth of sunlight through a window. These tiny experiences seem insignificant, yet together they create a life that feels rich instead of rushed. Imagine an elderly man sitting quietly on a park bench, watching birds gather around a small pond. Most people walk past without giving the scene a second thought. They're too busy chasing the next appointment, the next notification, the next achievement. But the old man smiles because he has learned something time eventually teaches many people. The moments we once thought were ordinary often become the memories we miss the most. The drive home with your parents, your child's laughter echoing through the house, your dog waiting excitedly at the front door, a conversation with someone you love before either of you knew it would be the last. Happiness isn't hidden inside grand events. It's quietly woven into everyday life, waiting for someone who has the wisdom to notice it. This habit also protects you from comparison, because when you're deeply engaged with your own life, you stop measuring it against everyone else's highlight reel. Social media becomes less powerful, envy becomes less frequent, and gratitude becomes more natural. Instead of asking, "Why don't I have what they have?" you begin asking, "How can I fully appreciate what's already in front of me?" That small shift transforms your entire perspective, because contentment grows from appreciation, not accumulation. Here's a simple practice you can begin today before you go to sleep each night. Think of 3 ordinary moments that quietly made your day better. Maybe someone held the door open for you. Maybe you finished a difficult task. Maybe you heard your favorite song while driving home. Maybe you simply enjoyed 5 peaceful minutes without anyone asking for your attention. Don't dismiss these moments because they're small. They're the very pieces that build a meaningful life. Over time, your mind begins searching for good instead of automatically expecting bad. The happiest people aren't happier because life constantly surprises them with incredible experiences. They're happier because they've trained themselves to recognize the beauty hidden inside everyday living. While others rush through life chasing happiness, they quietly discover it in places everyone else overlooks. And that's why their peace feels so genuine. It isn't dependent on perfect circumstances. It's rooted in a grateful mind that has learned to treasure what already exists. Habit number 4. They choose their circle carefully. One of the quietest decisions that determines your happiness is deciding who gets access to your mind every single day. Most people spend years trying to improve their habits, their income, or their confidence. Yet they ignore the people constantly influencing the way they think. Every conversation leaves something behind. Some people leave you feeling inspired, understood, and motivated to become a better version of yourself, while others leave you emotionally exhausted, questioning your worth, or carrying stress that wasn't yours to begin with. The happiest people understand that protecting their peace isn't selfish. It's necessary because your environment slowly becomes your mindset, and your mindset eventually becomes your life. This is why the Stoics paid close attention to the company they kept. They knew that character is contagious. Whether for better or worse, think about someone you've met who always complains. Every conversation somehow turns into a list of problems. Nothing is ever good enough. Every opportunity has a reason it won't work. Every success belongs to someone luckier after spending an hour with that person. You don't usually leave feeling energized. You leave carrying their emotional weight. Now compare that to someone who is calm during difficult moments. Someone who listens without judging, encourages without pretending life is easy, and reminds you that every setback can become a lesson. Both people influence you, but in completely different directions. That's why choosing your circle is one of the most important daily habits you can develop. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that he couldn't control the behavior of others, but he could control whose values he admired and whose example he followed. That wisdom matters even more today, because we're surrounded not only by people in real life, but also by voices online, podcasts, videos, news feeds, and endless opinions competing for our attention. Every piece of content you consume either strengthens your peace or weakens it. The happiest people don't feed their minds with constant outrage and negativity. They intentionally choose voices that make them wiser, calmer, and more resilient. Imagine planting a healthy tree in poisoned soil. No matter how strong the seed is, it struggles to grow because the environment works against it every single day. People are no different. You can have incredible potential, but if you're constantly surrounded by gossip, manipulation, criticism, or negativity, you'll spend most of your energy simply trying to stay emotionally balanced. Now imagine that same tree planted in healthy soil, receiving sunlight, water, and space to grow. Suddenly its strength becomes visible, not because the tree changed overnight, but because the environment finally supported its growth. This doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life the moment they disappoint you. Stoicism isn't about becoming isolated or emotionally cold. It's about learning healthy boundaries. You can care about people without allowing them to control your peace. You can be compassionate without accepting disrespect. And you can love someone while recognizing that their choices are theirs to make. Boundaries aren't walls built from anger. They're doors opened with wisdom and closed with self-respect when necessary. Take a moment to think about the 5 people whose voices you hear most often. Do they encourage courage or fear? Gratitude or bitterness, responsibility or excuses? Because over time, you'll begin speaking to yourself the same way your environment speaks to you. If your daily conversations are filled with hope, discipline, honesty, and kindness, those qualities slowly become part of your own inner voice. But if they're filled with constant criticism, comparison, and negativity, your mind eventually starts repeating those messages, even when you're alone. Here's a simple habit to practice every day. After spending time with someone, quietly ask yourself one question. Do I feel lighter or heavier after this conversation? The answer won't tell you everything, but over weeks, it will reveal powerful patterns. You'll notice which relationships help you grow, which ones drain your energy, and which ones deserve healthier boundaries. Awareness is the first step toward protecting your peace. The happiest people don't build their lives around popularity. They build them around character. They would rather have a small circle of genuine relationships than a crowd of people who constantly disturb their peace. They understand that happiness grows best in an environment of honesty, respect, encouragement, and mutual growth. Because when your surroundings nourish your mind instead of exhausting it, becoming calm, grateful, and emotionally strong stops feeling like a daily battle. It simply becomes the natural way you live. Habit number 5, and they end every day by reflecting, not regretting. The happiest people don't become happier because every day goes according to plan. They become happier because they refuse to let each day disappear without learning something from it. While most people fall into bed replaying every mistake, every awkward conversation, every missed opportunity, or every problem waiting for tomorrow, those who live with lasting peace choose a different path. They pause for just a few quiet moments, not to criticize themselves, but to understand themselves. This simple habit transforms ordinary days into stepping stones for personal growth. Because a life without reflection is a life lived on autopilot. And when you never stop to examine your thoughts, emotions, and choices, you unknowingly repeat the same patterns year after year. The Stoics understood that real progress doesn't happen by accident. It happens through honest self-examination. And that's exactly why Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal almost every day. He wasn't writing to impress anyone. Those pages were never meant for the public. He was having a conversation with himself, asking where he had done well, where he had allowed emotion to take over, and how he could become just a little wiser tomorrow than he was today. Think about driving hundreds of miles without ever looking at your dashboard. Eventually you would run out of fuel, ignore warning signs, or damage the engine without even realizing it. Your mind works the same way. If you never stop to check your emotional state, stress quietly builds, resentment grows unnoticed, and small frustrations slowly become part of your personality. But reflection catches those problems while they're still small, instead of asking, "Why is my life so difficult?" The happiest people ask better questions. What did today teach me? Where did I respond with patience? Where did I let fear make my decisions? These questions aren't about guilt. They're about growth, because every honest answer becomes a lesson you can carry into tomorrow. Imagine coming home after a long day at work. Maybe the meeting didn't go well. Maybe someone misunderstood your intentions. Maybe traffic tested every ounce of your patience. Most people keep carrying those emotions into the evening. They bring frustration into dinner, into conversations with family, and eventually into bed. But someone practicing Stoicism pauses before the day ends. They take a deep breath. They mentally replay the day without judgment. They recognize what they handled well. They accept where they fell short, and then they let it go. Because tomorrow deserves a clear mind, not yesterday's emotional baggage. This habit also protects you from perfectionism. Many people believe happiness comes from never making mistakes. But that's impossible. Even the wisest people fail, lose their temper, make poor decisions, or face disappointment. The difference is, they don't allow one imperfect day to define who they are. They understand that every sunrise offers another opportunity to practice wisdom, courage, patience, and gratitude. Progress is built through consistency, not perfection, and when you embrace that truth, you stop fearing failure and start appreciating growth. Here's a practice you can begin tonight. Before you close your eyes, spend 5 quiet minutes asking yourself 3 simple questions. What did I do well today? What could I have handled better? What am I grateful for before this day ends? Don't rush your answers. Don't search for perfect words. Simply be honest with yourself. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable. Your confidence won't come from pretending you're perfect. It'll come from knowing you're becoming better, one day at a time. When you combine this habit with everything we've explored today, protecting your mornings, focusing only on what you can control, appreciating ordinary moments, choosing your circle wisely, and ending each day with honest reflection, happiness stops feeling like something you chase. It becomes something you quietly create every single day, through small choices repeated consistently. And that's the lesson the Stoics understood centuries ago. A meaningful life isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built through ordinary habits practiced with extraordinary commitment. Real happiness isn't something you stumble across one lucky day. It's something you quietly build through the small decisions you make every morning, every conversation you have, every challenge you face, and every night you choose to learn instead of complain. That's the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It reminds us that peace isn't found by controlling the world around us. It's found by mastering the world within us. If even one of these 5 habits spoke to you today, don't wait for next week or next month. Start with just one, practice it consistently, and watch how your life slowly begins to change from the inside out. If you found value in today's journey, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and join our growing community here at Stoic Spark, where together we'll continue discovering the timeless wisdom that helps us live with greater strength, clarity, and purpose. Until next time, take care of your mind, protect your peace, and remember, the strongest fortress you'll ever build is the one within yourself.